Ladies and gentlemen, focus, let's go wild. The second act of the day is the fabulous Chadha-Day!
Thank you. So when I'm not being a comedian, I'm a physicist, which is really fun. It's the best thing in the world, but I had a hard time choosing between maths and physics when I was going to university, and in the end I went for physics because people said to me, well, physics is to maths as sex is to masturbation. And that turned out to be true, in that I spent most of my undergraduate degree doing maths while thinking about physics. And it always took me ages to finish. I found your level there. But one thing I've been thinking about is why there's so few women who do what I do, which is theoretical physics. And I think one issue is how we push gender roles onto children. You know, as soon as they're born, we are stereotyping them. And I actually come from quite a sort of trendy lefty family. For example, my brother has a master's degree in linguistics, and he recently applied for like an admin job at Sainsbury's. In the interview they told him, I think you're overqualified for the role. He told them that classifying jobs in that way is epistemologically unsound. But no, we're very trendy lefty, and actually my mum was the main breadwinner while my dad was a house husband and did most of the childcare. But even so, one day I came home from nursery and I said to Joshua, my little brother, right, we're going to play mummies and daddies. And you're the daddy, so you go out to work, and I'm the mummy, so I'm going to stay at home and clean the house. And my mum heard this, and she wasn't happy. She said to me, but Francesca, that's not what happens in our house, is it? And I said, oh no, you go out to work, and daddy stays at home, and nobody cleans the house. First joke, I wrote it when I was 4. Normally gets the biggest laugh, it's basically been downhill since then. But women can often also face discrimination from within the world of science. There's now quite a lot of evidence that the average person is biased against women and against BME people on a subconscious level. You know, I'm biased, you're biased. And this isn't something you should feel bad about, because we can't actually control our subconscious or our thoughts. For example, is there anyone here who is in a monogamous relationship who has never fantasised about having sex with someone who isn't their current partner? At least you're all honest about it. For the record, I'd just like to say that my sex fantasies always start off with some kind of plot device that makes it morally acceptable for me to sleep with David Tennant. For example, maybe my boyfriend is in some kind of air crash and would be presumed dead, but then would turn up maybe 2 weeks later on a desert island somewhere after I'd been sufficiently comforted by David. Single now, so. And this has been a real issue in my department. I tried to talk to people doing the interviews about subconscious bias and about maybe getting some training. And one of the academics said, this is ridiculous. I've been interviewing for 20 years and I know I'm not biased. I'm a fantastic interviewer. I'm so good that as soon as someone walks into a room, I know whether or not I'm going to take them. It's true. And this has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. You know, scientists think that we're not biased, but we actually are. Did you know that Victorian doctors used to think that you shouldn't educate a woman because all the blood would flow from her uterus to her brain and she'd become infertile? They later discovered that education is not an effective form of contraception. Shit, the condom broke. Better go read 5 chapters of War and Peace. Hysterical has the same root as hysterectomy, because hysteria was a Victorian woman's disease where disturbances of the uterus led to unmanageable emotional excesses such as enjoying sex or having opinions. And this was shit, and I'm really glad I don't live in Victorian times, but it does give me the right to describe myself as a hysterical comedian, as I'm literally full of uterus. But I really think we have to start with our children. You know, why are girls' toys and boys' toys? There's two problems with this. Firstly, all children should be able to play with whatever they want, free from social pressures. And secondly, the girls' toys are shit. So if you want your jetpack, you had better support gender equality. Thank you very much.